And you're welcome back here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into the newspapers here on News Flash. And let's say a big thank you to Nutri Snacks this morning for helping us have the conversations here on Prime Morning. You can get yours in the market. It's readily available in every supermarket. And once you're in the market, anywhere you find yourself, just ask about Nutri Snacks and get yours. It's very delicious. It's good. Very nutritious as well. The kids love it and they always want to have it in their bags. So please, if you also go into the office, make sure you put something in there. You know, if you think that your lunch is delaying, you can just snack on it and have a good time with it, all right? So Nutri Snacks is what you need to keep your day going. We're super excited about it. And food lovers, special fragrance rice is the rice you need this weekend. If you've got any activity that has to do with the cooking of rice, the best rice you need is Food Lovers Special Fragrance Rice. It's perfumed, long grain, and it's delicious. All right, so all of you who've got events this weekend, please make sure you're using Food Lovers Special Fragrance Rice. Now, get ready for another exciting journey in the world of the kitchen, where we get to have the big chef, come through and cook some very, really delicious food for us. So, Big Chef is back. And it's back with a bang. Now it's a new edition with a new twist. We've got new recipes, new style, delicious plates, and of course, new critics who are going to make sure that our contestants get to bring out the very best of themselves. This is the Big Chef Tertiary, and it's a battle of Ghana's tertiary schools with the best chefs with the sharpest knife as well. So you want to make a date on Sunday, the 25th of June, 2023 at 5 p.m. as we officially outdoor the schools who will be representing your region. So please do well to tune in the official launch of the new and maiden edition of Big Chef Tertiary on Joy Prime. Joy Prime, your ultimate experience, and you're not missing out that for anything. All right, so this morning we're going to be taking a look at the front pages of the newspapers. Let me welcome my guests in the studio. So these are very known names, very known faces as well. They've become friends and family of the channel, and they're here this morning for us to get into the newspapers. So representing the NPP's communication team, I have in here my brother Jesse. Jesse is the Honorable Minister for in this current administration. Bro, how are you doing, man?
The royal host.
Charlie, good to see you. Good to see you. I hope everything is cool.
Yeah, everything is fine by the grace of God.
Great stuff. I also have in here Mr. Eric Alifo. He's also part of the NDC communication team, legal team as well. And he's also a friend, a family of the show. And he's here this morning to represent the NDC. Sir, good morning.
A new family member, though.
Oh, a new family member.
Yeah.
Oh, but you've been family member from a distance.
Yes. Yes.
So right now is the new.
I was at the studio before many years back.
Was it?
Yeah, located at the other side.
At the other side, right?
Yes, on something else, I believe.
Oh, good.
Good morning.
Please do stay.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll stay. Definitely, I'll stay.
Nice one.
Good.
But I want to believe you're doing good as well.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Very well. Yeah.
Great.
Struggling to do very well. Nobody is doing quite well apart from our friends in government anyway. Yeah. But we're managing. Yeah.
And some of them too also do complain a bit too.
Really?
It's not like it's all rosy for them.
It means that there's a stratification or classification among themselves. If you are not in the top notch, then it doesn't.
I'm not.
It doesn't come to you. That's very unfortunate.
So there are those who are complaining and those who are not complaining.
Yes.
Definitely
some are not complaining. In fact, we know. We all know some are not complaining at all.
The truth of the matter is that government has created an enabling environment for Ghanaians, and that is what all of us are beneficiaries.
That's what all of us are complaining about.
I know. Anyway, so what we do is that we're going to go on the front page of the newspapers. We do the headlines real quick, and then we have some substantive issues that we will be taking a look at. So let's try and see what we have on the front page of Daily Graphic. So you do me the honors of getting the Supreme and then Business Finder. For me, so I'll start with the Daily Graphic. Now on the front page, the big story over there says 40,000 barrels boost oil production. Tullow partners now drill over 100,000 per day, and that's on the front page of the Daily Graphic. High Court rules on J.C. Kwesi's trial, timelines tomorrow. Page 16 has got a story on that as well. And constitutional review, chiefs demand more powers. Chiefs demand more powers. I see. Now, Afrexim Bank Springfield signed a $750 million loan agreement, and Charles Bissiou arrested, granted bail. That's the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. So, Jesse, maybe you can take yours in then.
Yes, so I have with me the Supreme newspaper. At the front page of the Supreme newspaper, NPP primaries, delegates in Adenta and Medina defy rains to show love to Bawumia. There's another story here. NADMO boss charges presiding members to build a disaster resilient nation. And there is an interesting story here. Is it Ada sub-chief, brother and buyer in court for stealing cassava? That's very interesting. And that's on the page 4 of today's Supreme newspaper. And Eric Sechi Nketia withdraws from NPP flag bearership race. This is the first time I'm hearing.
This one,
This is the first time. And the final story here.
But you don't think there's going to be more of that as we get closer and closer?
Yes, definitely. There's going to be more people who will draw from the race, because it is becoming clear that Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia is in the lead and will definitely be sworn in as president on January 7, 2025.
But eventually, and maybe constitutionally, from the NPP's point of view, it's going to still be reduced to 5 anyway.
Yes.
So we're still going to get to that point where we'll still reduce it constitutionally, if not your own willing to just say, okay, I don't want to be part of it.
Yes.
We're still going to get to that point where the party says that we want to reduce it to, 5.
Sure, that will be on 26th.
Exactly.
So we are hoping that the election is going to be free, transparent, and everything, so that the delegates will choose the person that they like. But everywhere you pass, Bawumia, everywhere.
Now, okay. And so you're done, right?
Yes.
Okay. Eric, let's take yours.
Yes, I have Business Finder, and the major headline is Afrexim Bank and Springfield signed a $750 million credit facility. And it says a big boost for Ghanaian ownership of oil and gas sector. Then I also have first quarter real GDP increases by 4.2% by GSS. And then 3 cocoa producers discuss African cocoa pricing body. These are the only 3 headlines. Yeah.
Okay.
And the Business Finder.
The Finder, right?
That's Business Finder.
Daily Guide this morning says Kennedy shakes NPP in flag bearer race, and Ghana Link grants OSP ICUM's platform access, and minority attacks Bawumia. Maintain free SHS at all costs, Brighter Pia says so. And SPRS Charles Bissiou grants bail, and we've got that press release as well. We're probably going to be getting into that. But that's the front page of the Daily Graphic. And Kante dumps Chelsea for Al Ittihad. Jan quits football. GFA pledges support. Sam snubs Saudi lucrative offer. And Minister gives Mediama 47,000 Ghana cedis. Okay, so that's also captured there. We've seen the Speaker of Parliament also, do some very nice thing for Mediama as well. We're going to have that conversation here on the show as well. The Daily Dispatch this morning says Joy FM reporter exposes NDC Bawulaya was an NDC creation to smear Bawumia. That's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch. Sickle cell disease in Ghana. And Ghana Library Authority has expanded network from 61 to 118 branches. And they have actually said that they're not putting the book of Yvonne Nelson on any of the shelves located across the nation because it's waiting for approval. That's Yvonne Nelson's new book that is titled I Am Not Yvonne Nelson. Paperless reports, paperless sports, not Alan's idea, or into lied. Gideon Boako says so. And a send-off by-election is a test of government's performance. Mahama says so. And Kennedy Agyapong submits forms for flag-bearer elections. And so on Tuesday, all roads will be leading to the send-off where the elections, the by-elections will be happening. Is it going to be Charles Opoko, or we'll have the embattled
Agyapong
Kwesi actually take over that seat as well. So let's see what happens. That'll be all for the front pages of the newspapers. Now let's get into the big stories that have come up this morning. And I don't know where we'll begin from, but maybe since Agyapong Kwesi's name came up right, just a moment ago, we'll probably start on that. So yesterday was a fierce battle in court. The NDC represented by Chachu Chikata and Mr. Daming, and the fact that they needed to get to some sort of a settlement. Now, we'll look at the other aspect where the court has really ruled that he can actually go ahead and, take part of the elections. But where we've got into right now, I'm not sure, but I'll start from you.
Yeah.
Do you think that we're really going to get to this point where we've got into right now with all the issues that have come out prior to this election? He's not going to contest. He says he's still going to contest his part of the campaigning. We're looking at the jail term and all of that. Did we see ourselves getting to a point where we'll now settle on this plan?
I will put it this way: we shouldn't have gotten here in the
first place.
Yeah, in the first place at all. You see, because I don't think that he deserves what is happening to him. He won the election clear. Everybody saw that he won the elections clearly, and by the time of the elections, he had already denounced his citizenship. In fact, as a matter of fact, he got a certificate of renunciation. And so it was very clear that, look, that provision that everybody is standing on, that the court stood on to expel him from parliament, clearly it says that you cannot be an MP if you owe allegiance to another country. And by the time he became an MP, he had already renounced his citizenship. The certificate was there. Everybody could see it. In fact, again...
But the NPP argue otherwise.
Well, yes, they can argue otherwise. That is the essence of litigation in court, but it doesn't mean that the court should agree with them necessarily.
So these were the facts on the ground.
Yes.
The fact was that he had renounced, the certificate was with him.
Yes. The fact is that as at December 2019, he had already submitted all his application and everything to renounce his citizenship. That is it. And at that point, to his mind, and again, because of the criminal matter, because for criminal offenses, there must be intent, or the intention, what we call intent in some jurisdictions. There must be intent to commit the crime. It's not just enough that some effect was created or my action created something that was an offense. There has to be, that's what we call the mens rea. The mens rea is what is in the mind. The mind must conform to the action. Yes, so if it was not in his mind to lie, and then he said something, then it was just a mere mistake. It's not a lie. He can explain that, this is what I believed. And so by December 2019, he had submitted his application. In his mind, he had renounced his citizenship. And if he had renounced his citizenship, then he didn't owe allegiance to Canada anymore at that point. He was only waiting for the certificate to be provided. And mind you, if you look at the article 94.1, it talks about just eligibility. At that point, if you're a Ghanaian, you could be a citizen of another country, but if you're a Ghanaian, you can go ahead and file your nomination. So he filed his nomination. There was no problem with it. The people who petitioned the Electoral Commission, they were invited. He himself was invited to the Electoral Commission. They inspected his papers and they said, you are good to go. And then he got the certificate by November. By November, he got a certificate. So I believe he filed a nomination in October of 2020. Yeah, he had already submitted his application in 2019, about a year earlier, and then filed his nomination in October 2020. Then in November, he was expecting the certificate in June, I believe, and because of COVID, it didn't come at that time. And he got it in November, clear, in fact, about a month clear before the elections. And then he went through the election. As a Ghanaian, full Ghanaian, he didn't owe allegiance to any other country. He was not a citizen of any other country before he became an MP. And so if you interpret that provision very well, nobody should be telling us that at the time you were filing, you should have been qualified as whatever before. Look, the point is that if you read there are two articles, two provisions, 91A. 94.1 talks clearly about eligibility. If you are so and so, you can file your nomination. I think he fulfilled those conditions over there. And so he went ahead. And then the 94.2, which everything is hinging on now says that if you are an MP, you cannot owe allegiance to another country. The only time that we can determine that is if you are an MP. That's the only time that we look at it, whether you owe allegiance to another country. So if you're not an MP yet, you can even contest the elections and lose and go. You can pack and go back to Canada if you want to. So that's it. So now, the criminal action, it's only because, and then we have heard that, in fact, there were advances. In fact, there were approaches made to him that he shouldn't contest the by-elections. And if he wouldn't contest the by-election, then they will not pursue any case against him and all of that. We heard all of that also. You know, these are rumors. We don't know whether it's true. And then he insisted that he would contest because as of this time, he's a full Ghanaian. He doesn't owe allegiance. Now it is very clear, well, by even the ruling of the Supreme Court and the High Court from he doesn't owe allegiance to any country anymore, so he's qualified to go through the by-elections. And so I don't know why anybody would want to discourage him. But because he wants to contest the by-election, they know that it's very popular, and they think that, well, he may win easily. Well, let's find something else and throw at him. You know, so let's go back and say that, well, when he was completing all these forms, he made declarations that he shouldn't have made because at that time he hadn't received his certificate of renunciation. Now, the point is that that's where I talked about the mens rea, the mind, you know, because if he made a declaration on the forms believing that once he had submitted his application, and mind you, again, Canadian authorities were not called. During his trial at Cape Coast, the Cape Coast High Court, evidence was not called. It was only affidavit evidence and all of that. It was not like a petition where they could have called people from Canadian authorities to come and tell them, explain the Canadian law, at what point is it concluded that the person has renounced his citizenship. They didn't give that option at all because it happened in a Jomoro case where a lawyer came from Cote d'Ivoire to come and explain. But this time around, they didn't even do that, which was another flaw in the procedure. It should have been a petition because if you are challenging parliamentary elections, it should have been a petition. You know, so fine. But let's leave that. The procedure, we have several problems with the procedure, right down from the High Court to the Supreme Court. But now, where we are is that he has been charged also with offenses. And I'm saying that for those offenses, they need to prove that he has the mind to actually commit those offenses. And it means that it was his plan, his intent to hide the fact that, well, perhaps he hadn't even submitted his application at all, and yet he's misrepresented that he did, and so he didn't owe allegiance to any other country and all of that. But that wasn't the fact. The fact was that he submitted everything. So in his mind, he thought that he had completed everything. He was only waiting for a certificate, just a paper to show. Okay. Yeah. So how can you prove that he had that mind to lie? Because perjury is virtually a lie, like he told a lie. Yeah. So if he didn't, but you see, they will quickly run to a similar case. It's just a similar case. Not the facts are not the same. The Sakande. They always run to the Sakande case.
Chukata was very angry with the Attorney General for citing that example. Yes, he believes that it was breaching the legal ethics.
Yes, because the Sakande case, the man was still in Parliament. He was MP, he was in Parliament, and still owed allegiance to another country. He was still a citizen of another country. He was in Parliament. Nothing, no effort to even renounce his citizenship of Burkina Faso or whatever it was. And he was sitting in Parliament already, you see. So the point...
So that was an unfair comparison.
Yes. There's no way you can compare the two situations. Somebody who had submitted his application a year before, that I don't want to be a Canadian citizen anymore because I want to go and help my country. I packed off, submitted his passport and everything. Canada packed off and came down and said, I want to help my country. And then he came, and not only that, he just went through the process without anybody's notice. Indeed, there was a petition by some people from his constituency against him to the election management body. And they were supposed to vet the forms of applicants, right? And so he was invited, and those people were also invited. They looked at the forms, they investigated everything, they examined, they adjudicated, and they said, we are good to go. Now, in the court case, the Electoral Commission didn't even say anything. The Electoral Commission, you see, is not just a private organization, so it's a public institution working for Ghanaians. And the people over there are paid with our taxpayers' money. You see, they should have been called to come and explain why, what did you see, what made you to okay him, to say that he... No, then the court decision is that the Electoral Commission didn't file anything, and so that's all. Okay. That is all right. Okay. So, but I didn't get to, I know I'll get a chance to get back to the court case.
Let me move to just...
I'll just give you the background. Yeah. So definitely we have to come back.
Yeah. Let me move to Jesse on his remarks on that one too as well. Jesse, what do you make of it yesterday?
Good morning to our lovely viewers. Let me put it on record. The NDC should stop deceiving Ghanaians on this Gyakye Kwesi case. Anytime I listen to them, it's about semantics. I don't know. They try to play around the issue. They try to leave the fact out. I mean, if you won't vote, if you think Gyakye Kwesi is the right person or he's qualified to contest as member of parliament, you know, there are laws in this country. We cannot run this country by any. The 1992 Constitution is the guide that serves both parliament, it serves citizens and some state institution. Let me read something for you. And this is an online report. In a unanimous decision on Wednesday morning, May 7, 2020, a 7-member panel, the Supreme Court, ordered that the Parliament to expunge the name of Mr. Gyakye Kwesi as MP. It was considered view of the court that the election of Mr. Kwesi breached Article 94(2) of the 1992 Constitution because at the time he filed to contest the election, he was not qualified to be elected as legislature since he had not renounced his dual citizenship. So look at the people who sat, the 7-member panel. Okay, so the first one is Justice Jones Duche, Justice Nene Amegashi, Mariama Owusu Gertrude Tukono, Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, Emmanuel Yoni Kolende, and Barbara Aka. So are you telling us that these men and women of high reputation of the Supreme Court, they don't know what they are doing? Or it is just for political reasons that we want to witch hunt Gyakye Kwesi because of the numbers 137 that we have in Parliament? We want to have more seats in Parliament. No. Laws are laws. Rules are rules. Gyakye Kwesi, over the years, in 2012, Gyakye Kwesi was disqualified by the Central Regional NDC chairman.
Aloteje Kos.
No, Aloteje Kos became the regional chairman in 2015, 2016.
But he also rejected again in 2016.
Alote also rejected in 2016. And in 2020, the same thing happened. So if you want to renounce your citizenship, are you telling me you are going to use just a year to do it? No, it is a process. You can't just, it's not like you are working and you want to resign from.
But he may have had the intention and so started the process.
You want to resign from an organization.
Started the process way before the time. That could also be possible.
Yeah, you should have started the process.
Who told you that? How can you come to?
You should have.
How do you know that you should have started?
Honorable, please. You should have started the process way back, because from 2012 we are in 2023, and you are telling us that November 2021 you renounce your dual citizenship. I mean, what are you telling us? Now, what the NDC has sought to do in Asin North is that they are sharing Wellington. They are sharing things just for the electorate to.
They've also accused the NPP of also doing the same thing there.
We've not shared anything. Really? What we are doing is that there's been good construction of road, hospital over the years from 2017 up to date. So I don't really understand what the NDC want to achieve with this Gyakye Kwesi case. They've defended Gyakye Kwesi from day one. I don't know why they are still pushing Gyakye Kwesi. And we've had similar case before. Adamu Sakandi, it has happened. There are custodial sentenced to that effect, a maximum of 10 years or 8 years or something. And they know that the law.
Chachuchi Kata has argued against that. Oh, he thinks that it's a very unfair comparison to make.
Royal host. So it lies at the mandate of the court to decide.
Eventually, they rule that they should go ahead and contest.
Yes, to decide what they want to do. But the truth of the matter is that the NDC should stop playing with the minds of Ghana.
Okay, so now Nyantakyi Kwesi is going to contest. I mean, the court has ruled that he should go ahead. Other criminal, whatever charges will be dealt later. But what it is right now, is it a problem for the NPP now?
It is not a problem for the NPP. It is not. Nyantakyi Kwesi himself,
he now having
he himself is struggling to campaign. It is members of the NDC. Mr. Mahama was there last week to start the campaign for him because he has been rejected by the good people of Asen North.
Really?
How so? Yes, per the report. I'll go to Asen North over the weekend. Per the report, anytime...
The report that came from where?
Oh, from the people that we know, from delegates in Asen North. Okay, so what they are saying is that after the election, he has never stepped foot at Asen North. After the election, that was all. He has lost touch with the delegates. There is nothing. He hasn't done anything for them. NPP as a government, we're building hospitals, constructing roads, schools, and a whole lot. So we are winning the Asen North election.
So it doesn't seem to be a threat to NPP in any way.
It is not.
So
it is not.
Why don't we just then allow it to just happen? Not talk about it. NPP should just allow him.
Yes, we've allowed the process to run. We allow the process to run. We are not.
So you're confident that Charles Opoku will pick this?
Charles Opoku
on Tuesday.
He will win hands down.
So let's do it quicker. Then we'll move to the next.
He has said so much that the NDC is deceiving the people. I don't know how, because look, I spoke about facts about when the man submitted his application.
Let's move past that and then
speak to the
Tuesday issue. Because right now, we all know where it stands right now. And of course, the court has ruled that it can go ahead.
But he has said things that, for instance, he said that NDC is sharing Wellington boots and all of that.
That's what I want us to address right now.
When we know...
It comes from both parties.
When we have...
NPP came here and said the same thing. NDC said the same thing.
They are in government. If we want to go on that kind of competition to share things, who is going to lose? And NDC will definitely lose, because they are in government. They have access to state money and all of that, and so we cannot. No, I have seen the knapsack sprayer machines. I've seen the fertilizer in trucks that are waiting. That are going to be. We know that
the same as.
But anyway, yes. The video is all over the place.
So that's your accusation on the end.
Yes, and it makes sense.
And he says you also sharing Wellington boots.
It makes sense to everybody.
Not only Wellington, cutlasses.
No, wait. I'm saying that it makes sense to everybody, and it will make sense to everybody that. If it is about sharing goodies to the people, NPP will do that because they are in government. They have the money for 8 years. And then they have moved moving equipment there and started constructing roads and all of that. And he's talking about, but anyway, we can move from that. He's talking about, he also said that I've seen North people have rejected Nyantakyi Kwesi.
He's lost touch with
he's lost touch and all of that. This is propaganda. I don't indulge in propaganda.
How can this be propaganda?
Because you cannot sit here and say that the people, and then when you ask him which people, you say the delegates. Which delegates? I don't know. NPP. These are NPP sympathizers who are telling them that the people have rejected Nyantakyi Kwesi. But we are all seeing the campaign. He also said that John Mahama came and started the campaign for him. It's not true. People were on the ground. Mahama had traveled to Europe. He came back just recently and went there. And the campaign had been going on already. And we can see, in fact, the entire NDC executive, national executive, have moved to Asen North. And they are working down there. Haven't we heard that you guys have booked all the hotels, even in Asen North?
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, so anyway, but you were...
Those were reports that...
So let's leave the propaganda out.
But it is important. Ask yourself, the NDC people, where are they sleeping? Is it not the same hotels?
Well, we don't know. You don't know where they are sleeping.
I know.
They may be sleeping in people's houses.
People are there.
But again, it's very important. It's very important to make this point.
Make that one, and then let's move on to the next issue.
He is suggesting that as long as a court has ruled in a particular way, that is right. That is the law. It is not true. And he mentioned the names of the justices that sat on the case in the Supreme Court. They are also infallible. They are fallible. They can be wrong. And we read the provisions, the law and everything. They can be wrong. All of them can be wrong. They can get it wrong. I don't want to ascribe political reasons. He said it, that people may say, well, they are trying to hound this person out of court. And I don't want to go that far. But I'm saying that it doesn't. They can be wrong. All of them can be wrong. Look, it has happened before. They have made decision. Did they not make a decision about the birth certificate, not the proof of citizenship? People are our age.
Okay.
Yes. So they can make decisions that will shock their senses.
Okay.
And this decision has shocked many of us. And so they can be wrong. So don't say to the public that...
Let's move on to the next issue. Tuesday will be here. Tuesday will be here very soon.
Court decision.
Tuesday will be here very soon.
Court decision is not about common sense. It's about law.
Yes, and they can get it wrong.
Whilst there are laws for references to be made, they can get it wrong.
Why do lawyers differ on the same laws?
You can debate.
The judges do not have any. The judges do not have
the office of the special prosecutor.
No, but we haven't talked about it.
We can't dwell on this alone. We have a lot of issues to talk about.
Well,
let's let Tuesday decide.
But just that
what is going to happen.
We didn't talk about the court case yesterday, though. How the court is going to actually rule on the application tomorrow.
No, that one will be a long one. So we have to shelve that and then speak about it maybe tomorrow on the show. But let's move on to the issue of Charles Bisu. He's actually going to offer himself.
Yes.
And he's been given bail. So let me read the press release from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. It says that Charles Cromwell, Nana being Onua Wonto Bisu, at 11:45 GMT on 21st of June 2023, the Secretary to the dissolved Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, IMCIM, Charles Cromwell, and being Onua Wonto Bisu, turned himself in to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. He was immediately placed under arrest, interviewed, and subsequently released on bail. Signed, Kwesi Agyapong, the Special Prosecutor, on the 21st of June 2023. So, he could have done this right from the onset.
Yeah.
Yet there was a supposed hide and seek over a period of time before eventually we got to this point. Why did we have to get to all of this?
It's not that we've gotten to all of this. You know, the SP, the Special Prosecutor, has been following this case for quite some time now. Charles Bisu was the former secretary for the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. And when you talk about what happened, I mean, Charles Bisu has reported himself to the police CID. There's been investigations by IOCO and other bodies which are deemed fit to find out the exact things that happened for this Galamsey and all those things. I mean, earlier on, we heard reports that Charles Bisu, because he was invited by the Special Prosecutor, he left the country, and no, it wasn't true. He was sick by then, so he couldn't make it on time, or he couldn't
avail himself.
And
that has to go to the point that he was placed on a wanted list.
Well, it is normal.
It
is normal.
The Special Prosecutor didn't know all of this information you're giving.
No, so I think
to have warranted a wanted list declaration.
2 days after this, that is when the lawyer for Charles Bisu came out to say this to the Special Prosecutor. I mean, as for bench warrant, when a court of competent jurisdiction is after you, definitely there's going to be a bench warrant where you can be arrested at any...
But if the bench warrant is given and we're looking for you and we can't find you, and it gets to a point that you are on a wanted list, that's a different conversation.
It is not a different conversation. They should have spoken to the lawyer to see the whereabouts of Charles
Instead of putting him on a wanted list?
Yes, instead of putting Charles Bisu.
So the Special Prosecutor erred on that?
I can't say Special Prosecutor erred on that.
It came from his office?
Yes, I don't know the processes he's using to operate. I don't know the kind of policies, or I don't know the kind of things that he's using to operate. Galamsey in this country has been very challenging. The president has been very clear on it on several occasions, fighting Galamsey, even putting his presidency online and a whole lot. But it seems we must get to the root of this matter. You remember Professor Frimpong Boateng, the report that came citing not only NPP but also NDC members who are actively involved in Galamsey at Amenfi East, where between 2015 and 2016 they used those money to sponsor some of their candidates, some of their parliamentary candidates to win elections. So as for Galamsey issue, the president has been very emphatic, and the president has taken a good stand to fight galamsey. That is why institutions of good reputations are all fighting and are all making sure that we are going to achieve this. And those who cause the problem in this country, the law must deal with them.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Eric.
Yes. Well, I look, this new case has traveled too far, I believe. It's just like the men's gold #1 case that we hear has been adjourned for about 35 times. Clearly when he's taking people's money and people have died as a result of that. And that case, they're still in court. They are adjourning it every time. He just goes to court and get a deed and come back and all of that, and the man is free. So this case is similar to that, and I understand that.
Do you think eventually he'll be free? He'll be a free man?
I don't know. He's a free man as of now. The arrest and the bail and all of that, they don't mean much to me at this point, And I believe that he was playing all those gymnastics because he thought that the establishment was going to save him somehow. Because if you remember, in 2019, he was actually cleared. When this matter came out the first time, he was cleared. And just like we know, the president has always been clearing anytime there was an allegation against his ministers and all of that. He clears them even without investigations.
It's not
true. We know about that.
These are wild.
But let me, let me just have my time, please.
No problem.
Yeah, let me have my time.
Sure.
And so I believe that he thought that, well, if he's running through this process again, he just might be saved by the bell, At some point, they may say something. So that's why he was. But clearly, we should have passed this stage long ago. And the OSP, they knew how to get him if they wanted to arrest him. If you charge the person, then I was talking to another station a few days ago, and I said that, look, charge him. If you think that if you have a prima facie case, if you have a good basis, enough basis, probable cause that he has committed some crime, and you're having difficulty in getting him, just charge him. When you charge him, then you can arrest him because now there's a criminal charge against him. So if you haven't charged him, but I understand also that he's facing multiple charges in court already. And it's on trial for some of the cases. The fact that he was cleared before by Yoko or by the police or whatever, doesn't mean anything. The OSP also has a mandate, and so he can be investigated. And so, yes, clearly, this matter is just like the #1 case. I don't have much confidence that they are going to push it to any length that would mean much to Ghanaians. So I can leave that. But he also made allusions to NDC, some NDC members have been engaged in.
Yeah, it's in the report.
Well, yeah, it can be in the report. There are several.
It's not that it can be in the report. No, it is in the report.
And it is in the report that Gabi and others, Agyapong and all those people are also part of it.
Oh.
What is it's also in the report, isn't it? So have they been arrested? So let your government, it is your people who are in power, they should act. Whichever NDC,
they are acting.
Yes, so they should arrest them. Let's see.
Yeah,
they should arrest Gabi and all of. They have not invited them yet, have they? Have they invited them? But no. Let me.
Agyapong and Gabi have come to also.
Yes, they've cleared
respond to.
Yes.
Oh yeah, well, responding
all the allegations.
When they make allegations against us, we should always respond. It doesn't mean the fact that we respond doesn't mean that the state institutions should not invite us to really investigate allegations. We can always look. Otherwise, if he doesn't respond, or if his response is that, yes, indeed, I have done it, that would be a confession, isn't it? Yes, so response, they will always deny. They will always deny it. I don't know. They will try to clarify, justify some of the actions and all of that. But the fact that he was so excited about NDC people having engaged in galamsey and they used the money to sponsor, but he forgot to mention the NPP guys, the Prime Minister, Gabi, and other people who are also involved in it. That one, he conveniently forgot about that. That's why I wanted to draw his attention that they have mentioned all of those people. And I'm saying that if the government, if this government is serious enough and wants to tell Ghanaians that, the fact that the president also said that, this president, before he became a president, he said all the right things. All the right things, including Bawumia, they said all the right things. But once they are in power, whether they are doing the right thing, this is another thing. So the fact that he said that, I'll put my job on the line to fight galamsey and all of that.
But he took measures.
What measures? The measures he took have even exacerbated the problem.
No, it is not true.
No, excavators were missing. People were just asked to go home.
How come the excavators arrive in this country?
Where, which ones? The ones that were missing?
Not the ones that were missing.
Back? I don't know. I haven't heard about
they got to the country in the first place.
The height of galamsey was in 2014 under Mr. John Dramani Mahama.
Yes, but
that is when the Chinese.
But when the excavators come, they are not labeled that we are bringing these excavators to come and do galamsey.
No.
So they can come in. People
import,
people import all kinds of things. When they come here and they become instruments of criminality, it's a different matter. So you cannot say that
they landed at Galamsey side.
Yes,
it's on record.
Yeah, I'm not saying they landed, but when they were coming to the country, you are saying how did they come? Meaning that somebody should have prevented them from coming. How would the person know that they were coming?
But it was the Chinese who brought those Galamsey.
So what?
So what?
The Chinese have every right to bring things in here. They can import things in here.
I'm not saying they don't have rights.
Yes, so then what's your point?
They have rights.
Yes.
But allowing them to do the Galamsey, that is where the problem is.
Allowing them to do the Galamsey, but now you have taken over. Your government has taken over.
Okay, so let's move on. In the coming days and weeks, we'll see how this case will travel in terms of the OSP and the Charles Bisu situation. Now he's been granted bail. So let's just hope that this case will be pursued like we all want to see it. We'll move on to the next issue. So this will be a good one for the economy, and of course maybe the NPP would want to be excited about this. The economy beat analyst forecast expands 4.2%, and we're looking at the very first quarter, which is the quarter that we've been through in 2023. So let me just, for the purposes of our viewers, let me just read this and then we'll get to understand better where this is going. Now, Ghana's economy beat most analyst forecasts, expanding by 4.2% in the first quarter in 2023. The Ghana Statistical Service has disclosed this is it's far higher than the 3.1%, which was recorded during the same period in 2022. According to GSS, Public Administration, Defense and Social Security, 37.6%. Health and social work went on 31.6%. Education, 26.0%. And the information and communication, 18.9%, drove the entire growth rates. And that's where we are right now. Now, this can be very dicey based on where you stand. Expanding in growth to 4.2% does not necessarily mean that there's money in the pocket of people in the country. You can have an expansion of your economy and people can still suffer or can still be going through hardship. And mind you, this is looking at a certain period before we got the IMF money. Now, this does not even have, the IMF money does not even have a direct impact on this. So maybe we can now start to appreciate the IMF money.
This was before the IMF.
Exactly. Yes, so we can appreciate the IMF money maybe in the second quarter or third. But I mean, I'm just letting us understand why this cannot be the best news. Sure. We're all, hoping
but this is good news.
It is. But if you're looking at it literally from where it is right now, you might think that people are comfortable. They have money in their pocket, which is not the case.
As for money in people's pocket, there are monies in people's pocket. Just that sometimes it's very difficult for people to disclose their wealth. I'm happy this report is not coming from the NPP headquarters. And I'm happy this report is not a survey done by a unknown individual. This is a report and a survey from Ghana Statistical Service projecting 4.2% growth rate. Assuming it's a survey by any of the political science lecturers, you will see the angle the NDC is going to twist the whole thing. And looking at where we've come from as a country, there's been COVID. I mean, we've had challenges in this country from March 2020, 2021, and latter part of 2022. I mean, it's been very tough year, and the government also took pragmatic measures to save the situation. Talking about growth rate, the NBC in December 2016 left a growth rate of 3.5%. When we came in 2017, at the end of December 2017, the growth rate moved from 3.5 to 6.5%. It moved to 7.5 in 2018, 8.5 before we were hit by COVID. So I'm happy that the projections are clear now, that we are making progress. We are not coming back as a country, because there's been a lot of developmental projects that the government is undertaking. And you mentioned schools.
There's health school.
Health school. I mean, government has done a lot. Government has done a lot. Every district, every community, there's significant improvement of what government is doing there. This is not myself saying. These are well-researched team who has conducted the survey to come out with this report, and per the analysis that they've brought, 4.2, the figures are looking good. The figures are looking good.
Okay.
I know NPP, we've not done everything, but we've done our best, and I believe moving forward we are going to do more.
Eric.
Yeah, well, yes. You know, these figures, actually, they have to translate into the quality of life of Ghanaians. And
Why is reflecting? No.
Well, I don't know about that. If you say it's reflecting, you are the
nice,
same person.
nice check your seat.
Well, you know when I got this.
Look
you don't know where and when I got it. So you.
I don't know.
This could have been in NDC time.
I don't know.
He decided to shelve it.
I don't know if you've been monitoring the royal host always on point.
Oh well, yes. No. Don't put him on the spot.
It's looking good.
Let me just have my take on that. And I'm saying that, well, clearly it should translate into quality. I still insist on that. And you see, but this figure and then these figures, again, the report has not talked about every community has seen some improvement, development, and all of that. No, it hasn't.
That's why I made it clear that this is just an expansion growth.
Yes.
And the other factors.
It hasn't gone that far. Yeah. And again, this report is fresh, very, very fresh. You know, it has to be interrogated. You know, sometimes when these figures come out, we now have to subject them.
Have doubts.
Yeah, we
have doubts about.
Well, there are experts who come out and scrutinize this.
I'm sure the economists will definitely come out.
These are also experts. These are also experts who
there
came
are
out
other experts. You know, we know the rating agencies. Whenever they come out with
this Ghana statistical service.
Just listen to the point I'm making.
But it is also subject to the scrutiny of other economists.
That's what I wanted to say. Whenever the figures come, the ratings and everything come, we subject them to thorough discussions and scrutiny.
Yes.
That is it. And I said this one will be done also because this paper came out today, right?
Yeah.
And then I looked through the report. There are experts who are going to go into these figures. And then they tell us, you know, he would always speak about once he says something like this because they are looking for something to hold on to, you know. So, yes, because, look, everybody in the country is complaining. So if you say something like this, you want to hide behind it. It's like holding on to a straw. You know, say, I have one good news, you know. And so you push it as though everybody is doing well in the country. Everybody knows we are all suffering. He himself, well, he's not complaining. He said so. So, yeah, so clearly, I don't have much confidence in these figures at this point. I am seeing what is on the ground. I know how we are all suffering in the country, and so by the next few days, I believe that
we'll get better interpretation of it. So, in that case, let's try and see how we can relate this next issue we want to talk about. This expansion growth. The Reverend Sam Korankye Ankrah has spoken about politicians and how they don't honor their promises. And so, let me just read something he just said in the very first paragraph. He says, "The founder and general overseer of Royal House Chapel International, Reverend Sam Korankye Ankrah, has called on politicians in Ghana to stop making promises they cannot fulfill." He was speaking with Pastor Atowakwa in a special Father's Day edition of Joy FM's Christian talk show, A Walk with Jesus on Sunday. He says that Apostle General raised concerns about how the majority of Ghanaians today are beginning to lose interest in democratic practice because politicians fail to honor the promises they make to the electorates during their campaigns for power. Maybe from where you stopped, you can continue from
it's a good call, you know, but I rather would want them to talk rather about politicians should stop giving money to electors in order for them to be elected.
That's what you want the pastors to be talking about?
Yes, they should be talking about that. Otherwise, this country is heading into a big ditch, you know, when now we are trying to accept a bad canker. We look something that is very dangerous. We are accepting as a new norm. Now, you know what? They will give money anyway. And so every election, even at internal elections.
But that's always as a result of the promises they give.
No, it's not even about the promises. That's what I'm saying, that the focus should be on they should stop giving. You see, because you can even go and make all the promises, and if you don't give them money, they will not vote for you. You see the point? So you see what the difference is. So the promises is not the issue per se, because if I would go around, if I just came out of a primary, I contested a primary, the parliamentary primary, and I don't make promises that I'll do this, but I tell the people things that is possible we can do. These are things that we can actually do, you know, just letting them know that if we have the opportunity, these are areas that we shall look at, we shall make investment in these areas and all of that. It's not a promise that when I come, I will build this for you, I will do this and I will do that. But I'm saying that you can make even all the juicy promises, and yet if you don't support it with money to the people, and that is why NPP has gone to Assin North now with trucks loaded with fertilizers and knapsack machines and all of that. So they are giving things to people to vote. The pastors, our pastors, the clergy, they should be talking about this. Not only the clergy, the civil society organization, and then most especially the youth. Because it's the same youth who will be justifying this and say, oh yeah, now if you don't have money, you can't contest election, there's nothing we can do about it. And they don't know that, you see, they are spelling their own doom. You see, because they are very intelligent guys who want to get into politics, hold public offices, and yet they don't have money. So if you don't have money, then you better fold your arms. And those people who have the money, they may not have the ideas, and they may be crooks, but they have the money that they can give us. So I think that the people should rather be focusing on telling the politicians and then telling even the electorate that people who give you money, don't vote for them because they are giving you money. Yeah, as for the promises, well, it's a general advice is given saying that, well, don't make promises that you cannot fulfill. Yes, of course, that should be the case. But politicians will continue to make promises. They will always make promises. But the electorate should also be discerning. So I am more concerned about the fact. So the focus
should rather be on the fact that don't take the monies when they bring it to you.
And
don't also go giving people money.
And even people who are even talking about this, who are lamenting about money in our politics, people giving money in it, they are not doing anything about it. You see, the same people who complain and the same people who say, yeah, but there's nothing we can do about it. And so they are not doing anything about it. They are not even taking the first step. You see, and so you see very soon, even in NPP primary, just open your eyes and see what's going to happen. See, yes, they are going to give money.
It's just a matter of time.
But yes, you will see what will happen. And so our whole politics is so spoiled. And I just came out of it, so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, see, yes, people can give monies over thousands of cities, and some of us, we have only 100 cities a day.
We'd rather keep our money.
Yes, so you can, because I was in the race, the little I was also able
to. You have to also give that?
Yeah, it got to a point, because you also have to give something. And then when I realized that, look, when I had about 700 people on my list, and I can only give about 100 cities, that one can even go around even 200 people. You understand?
But did they take it when you gave them?
Why not? Because when people are giving them 1,000 cities, 250,000 cities, and other things.
So then they should reject the small one that you're giving them.
No, they will take everything. You see, the point is that I think that is even becoming a criminal activity now, because they will call you and tell you that, oh, we are supporting you. Just because the little you have, they want to take that as well. They are taking from other people.
So how much did you spend in that election now?
I don't know. I don't even, because you see, for me, I didn't have the money myself to spend in that. I don't believe that people should use their own money to do politics. You see, I believe in the Western democracy in US. You have to raise funds. Even if you have your own money, there are rules and regulations. You see, because if you are able to raise funds from friends and the sympathizers, if they give you money for you to go and embark on a campaign, it means that they believe in you. They know that you can do the work you want to do. That's why they give you money. You see, but because now it is in Ghana, in Africa, it is when you have money, then you can. So whether you can do it or not, Jesse, you have your own money, and so you go into it. And that's why we have square pegs and round holes all over the place.
Okay, Jesse. Yeah, so I think this morning we've had confirmation here, Joy Prime TV, that lawyer Eric Delagnon yes, paid a whooping sum of money to delegate.
What is whooping? What is whooping about that? No. But if you are making assertions about me and I'm sitting right here, you want me to keep quiet?
No, it's not about keeping quiet. Why you mention it?
Tell the family something that's all right. What is a whooping?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
I hope that at the end you will not say that we don't have time. Oh, the time is gone.
It's our last conversation actually.
Yeah. So,
but let him finish. If you are lying to talk, then we'll have time for you to respond.
Okay.
But if you interject, we're still going to be going back and forth.
Yeah. So make sure you say what is right. Don't say lies about me.
So the right thing is that he has confirmed to us that the NDC paid 1,000 Ghana cedis. Some pay 2,000, some pay 20 cedis.
No NDC.
And please.
No NDC.
You said in
this he said him.
Yes. No, that is NDC primaries.
I'm not running away from that.
NDC parliamentary primaries. This is not NPP parliamentary primaries. Let's get it on record.
I'm not running away from that. I am saying that our politics has degenerated into.
And he used himself as an example because of what he saw.
I'm not denying.
So he was making a general statement.
There is a general statement, but this is
so what's your
please.
Do NPP people don't do it?
Oh, please.
If they also do it, then what's your point? You want to just make the point that NPP people also. So yes, of course. I'm saying that.
Where did we see that NPP we are distributing money to people?
Oh.
But you just confirmed to us.
Anyway, listeners and the audience are watching you, so
please,
that's okay.
Let's move on.
If that's why you are saying, well, the NPP, you don't do it. The very first time, in fact, Alan Timothy is called Alan Cash. It's called Alan Cash because of that same
let him finish.
That's how we just started.
Let him finish. Okay. He's not going to the substantive issues.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, so before I come there, in the NDC presidential primaries, Mr. John Mahama paid 40 cedis to each delegate. So multiply 40 by...
what is 40 cedis? For what?
Or multiply 40 by 35,000.
What did you give the money to them to do?
Yes.
What for?
To induce them to vote for him.
No, that's not correct.
Kojo Bonsu was bankrupt, so he couldn't even pay a peso.
But he was invited. Nothing has come out from that yet.
Yes, so
he's not been charged.
Yeah, the OSP, they are working on it. Definitely, we are going to get report from it.
You don't even know what the 40 cedis was meant for. If you want to induce somebody to vote for you, is it 40 cedis that you give to them?
I think you had your time.
Yes, but say the right things. Don't twist this thing.
Okay, so
you confuse people's minds.
Cancel.
Okay, so Jesse,
so the issue is that this is an advice from Reverend Sam Kranchi Ankra that politicians should honor their promise, right? So we were in this country in 2013. And the NDC publicly told Ghanaians that they are going to do one-time premium of the health insurance. At that time, that is where the cash and carry system was very high. There were no drugs at most of the facilities in this country. And we had challenges. What happened after then? We've had several promises made by the NDC. If you recall.
What are those several promises?
Yes, I'm coming there.
Like the Sky Train, bringing Sky Train.
No, let me.
So tell us.
See, we would have to end this conversation.
We can't end.
Our time is up.
Hold on.
So you guys
were in this country. We were in this country when Mr. Mahama told the good people of Ghana that every year he's going to build 50 schools. So at the end of the 4-year period from 2012 to 2016, we are expecting about 200 E-block schools.
How many of that Agenda 111 hospital should we have had now?
Eric, you're not helping.
And $1 million district.
No.
Have you had it?
When you had the time, he didn't say anything.
I'm scared you are saying that we are running out of time, so I have to be chipping in this case. Otherwise,
but it will still not help us. Go ahead.
So you should remember, one district, one factory, one constituency, $1 million.
See,
if he's talking about promises,
let him finish.
I just want to remind him about that.
Yeah, so
it's
I'll
important.
come there. When NPP came, every constituency in this country
had $1 million
provided ambulance to every constituency.
Oh, God.
Every constituency.
That was not even the promises you made.
When NDC was leaving power in 2016, there was 34 ambulance in this country. Out of the 34 ambulance, 18 of them was at the workshop and they were servicing it. What happened then?
Is that about promises?
Yes.
You're talking about.
What happened then? Check.
So you fulfilled all your promises. NDC didn't fulfill the promises they made.
Okay, so some messages over here. This one is coming. This one says it's a very long one. Let me see if I can. It says Koresko Zakaria. It sends in this one from Shiane. It says Baumia has no shade. Come and speak on the hardship you and your new Science Economic Management team has brought to us. You were repeating your failed policies today. Our Muslim brothers can't go to Hajj because you need 1 billion old cities to go to Hajj. Under Muhammad, non-Muslim, it was 80 million old cities. Dollar is now 15 cities. Inflation is hitting 40%. Bamia admit that you have failed and you cannot take leadership roles. Bamia, because of your incompetence of which you could not manage, the city Ghanaians cannot eat, clothe or shelter. What is the meaning of taking Ghana to the next level? Reverse. Greetings, Honorable Said Mubarak, incoming MP, Sunyani East. All right, so Koresko Zakaria sent in this one. This one over here says, good morning to your, good morning to you and your able panelists, especially to our brilliant and competent NDC rep. The issue of Jachi Kwesi is very painful and abuse of power by NPP government. It is like NPP and our court are overprotecting current EC and the chairperson. How must Kwesi suffer as a result of someone incompetence in a particular institution failure to do its works? That is our EC. Instead, the court is going after EC. Instead of the court going after EC, they are rather going after an innocent and poor man just to satisfy their paymasters. For the matter of Charles Bissiou, it is not going anywhere, trust me. They are simply playing Asterix, Sumani Hamza, Zakalsi sent in that one. So most of your messages are coming through. This one says, good morning, Ghanaians wouldn't make a mistake of voting a liar. Bamia is super incompetent. So a lot of them, a bit later we're going to try and then read them. But let me say a big thank you to you guys this morning for coming through. No, our time is up. you and the two of you. But you have tried today. You really, really comported yourself. I don't know about Honorable. Honorable said he saw us wrapping up, so he has to interject just so he's able to make his point.
And I did that, and that was good. It's not about you. You know, it's about the public, the audience, people who are watching us. And I always want the right information to get to them.
Okay.
So if I had to misconduct myself just a little, and
you
for
have
them
to do
get
that.
the right yes, there, you know.
But thank you so much for coming through this morning. And so that's Honorable Eric Alifo Esquire joining us this morning, and our very own Jesse Brako also joining us this morning from the NPP, and he's from the NTC.